Hello, and thank you for joining me for the penultimate flow in the chakra series. Today we're looking at the ANJA chakra, so our third eye chakra, located just between the eyes and the eyebrow point. It's our center of connection, of trust, of higher knowledge, and where we tap into our intuition. And when we're in balance in our third eye, we really kind of have this sense of trust. We're able a lot to go with the flow a little bit more, to be aware that there's a bigger picture that we're not seeing, and we're also able to tap into those energies that we've been building through our chakras and know how they make us, and then how we can put that out into the world. Through our third eye, we kind of see our place in the world, we see our inner world, and then we can start to work with how that can mix by balancing into that chakra. So if this rambling at the beginning hasn't made much sense to you, that's okay. I'm going to be posting a little bit more information on each of the chakras and how they work up on Instagram and Facebook in the next few days, so keep an eye out for that. But what we're going to start by doing today is grounding in. We're just going to arrive on the mat into the practice, and we would start with a little visualization and working with the mudra in our meditation, and then we'll move through our flow. So coming into a comfortable seat, I'm really feeling kneeling today, sitting myself up on a block, but take whatever works for you. And then take a shoulder roll, arrive in here, find that length in the spine, the rise in the crown of the head, start to straighten the back, relax the shoulders as the elbows draw heavy, and close down the eyes whenever you're ready. We're going to bring our palms onto our laps and having them hands facing up. And you might want to open up your eyes again if you did have them closed, because I'm just going to bring us into our mudra. So we're taking our ANJA mudra, our third eye mudra, and that's to bring our ring fingers into touch, and then we'll join our middle finger and thumb together. So you've kind of got index finger and pinky finger both extended. Hands come back onto the lap, palms facing upwards. Drop down the shoulders, find that length in the spine, and start to slow and quiet the breath. Draw your attention inwards, your focus inwards to your inner world and your inner sight. Allowing the lungs to fill up with air as the body grows heavy. And allow the mind to quiet for just a few moments as you come into being. Now I'd like you to send your attention upwards to the place just between the eyebrows. Focusing here and just noticing what comes into the mind's eye. Any colours or shapes, any movements. Notice if the eyes find it difficult to focus here, if you're trying to look up to this point of the third eye, and see if you can send your awareness there without sending your gaze there. So it's working with this inner gaze. And our third eye chakra is associated with light, and the colour of representation for this chakra is an indigo-y purple colour, deep, vibrant, dancing colour that moves our chakra. And quite often the shape associated with this chakra is a triangle. So maybe that's what's coming to your eye. Considering how the third eye and your physical eyes make this triangle, and how you can consider your sight to be so much more than what you can see, but what you know. And just focusing on any colours that are coming up. And if the indigo colour works for you with this visualization, keep working there. If that's not resonating, that's okay. You can let that go and just keep your focus, your attention on that point between the eyes, between the eyebrows. And the focus of today's session is to bring in an awareness and a trust in your knowing within yourself. You can call this whatever you like, your inner guidance, your inner intuition, your inner knowing. But we'll be working with the affirmation of I trust. Just repeating that to yourself, either aloud or in your head a few times as you keep your focus at the brow point. Inhaling I, exhale trust. Inhale I, exhale trust. Inhale I, exhale trust. Inhale I, exhale trust. Inhale and exhale to release the mantra. We're cultivating this sense of trusting in ourselves, trusting to make decisions, to know the best path for us. Trusting that we have everything we need. And slowly releasing the mudra from the hands and bringing the hands together. Start to rub the palms together, just create a little bit of friction and warmth through the palms. And then once they're nice and warm, bring the palms over the physical eyes. Just holding this space, allowing that energy to warm through your sight center. Trusting yourself to see more than what you can physically see as you open the eyes behind the palms. staying in this darkness and just noticing any shapes, colours. And then releasing the palms down, keeping the gaze soft. And coming back into the physical room. Take a breath in here and exhale, release. Going to take it nice and slow as we move into our flow. So if you are up on a block or bolster, you might want to come off of it now. And we're moving lengthways on our mats, coming down into a wide leg child's pose. So the knees are just going to be slightly wider than hip width. And the width will depend on how you sit in your body. And we're sitting back, finding length through the spine. And then we're going to bring our hands into a triangle and just place them on the mat in front of us. And bringing your forehead down to the palms. You might need to shuffle your hands in, or maybe you want to build up so you've got a block underneath you. If you can't quite come to resting your forehead on the earth, this is a really good option. And will help you to keep some straightness through the spine, or bringing your forehead all the way down to meet the palms, so that your third eye meets on your thumb, your index fingers touch, and you can feel into this connection to the mat through the palms, drawing up energy through the earth and sending it into that point just between the eyebrows, your third eye center, keeping the hips heavy, spine relaxed. And you'd like to come to close down the eyes here. We're going to stay in this posture for a few breaths, drawing that attention inwards and keeping our focus point at our third eye. Inhale in and push the weight into the palms, and use that strength to push yourself back up into a kneeling position. We're going to move into our tabletop. So knees will come to hip width, palms underneath the shoulders, and spread those fingertips nice and wide, pressing the space in between your index finger and thumb into the earth. We'll inhale in, lift the chest, find your cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, navel to spine, round through. Inhale here, holding, squeezing, and then curling the toes under as you exhale. Send the bottom back up high. Find your downward facing dog, pedaling the knees here. Finding space, maybe shifting the hips from side to side. Feel into what your body needs. And I encourage you throughout this flow to use my voice as your guide, closing down your eyes as much as you feel comfortable. Really feeling the stretch through your body. Inhale in, and we're going to lift the right leg up high. Bring your knee in towards your nose, squeezing everything in and up in a high plank. Right knee pulls in. And then exhale, plant the right foot down. Come onto the left knee, until the toes of the back foot. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Come to bring the palms together now. And just notice if you started to flare through the ribs. So see if you can tuck your ribs under, pulling your belly button up towards the ribs. And then squeeze the tops of the arms by the ears. Take a breath here. Exhale, bring the thumbs to the third eye. Keeping that length, that strength through the spine as you ground through the feet. And exhale, plant the palms. Open out into your Ardha Hanuman. So the toes press up towards the ceiling. You find length through your spine. Exhale, come onto the sole of the right foot. Turn the left foot out. And we're coming to turn the toes lengthways on our mat of the right foot. Open out. So we're coming into a side plank variation. Take a breath here. Maybe reaching the fingertips over towards the back of the room. And then exhale, rise all the way through. Use your core strength to bring your palms back towards the front of the mat. Righten through the legs so your toes are coming to face forward. We're coming back into that low lunge. Plant the palms and step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale in here. Keep the heels heavy. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Bring knee in towards nose. Squeeze everything in and up and hold here. Strong in your high plank. Exhaling, bringing the left foot down to the earth. Right knee touches the mat. Uncurl the toes of the feet. Inhaling, sweep the arms up overhead. Palms come together. Tuck the ribs in and squeeze the tops of the arms by the ears. Find that length here. Sink a little lower through the hips. And then bringing the palms to meet the third eye. Feel into this connection as you ground through the feet. Maybe close down the eyes, testing the balance. Trusting in your body. Exhaling, bringing the palms to the earth. Opening out into our Ardha Hanuman, our half split. Walking the palms back if you need to find a little bit of extra length. Toes pressing up towards the ceiling. And then coming onto the sole of the left foot, turning the toes out. So the outside edge of our mat is parallel to the front of the mat. Pivoting on the right leg. And opening out, side plank variation. Reach the left fingertips tall. Keeping the hips lifted. And then maybe reaching over towards the back of the room if you want a little bit of extra stretch through the left side body. Inhale in here. Exhale, engage your core. Pull that navel in as you press all the way up and come back to find your crescent lunge. Keep that length here, curl under the toes of the back foot and press yourself back up, downward facing dog. Inhale in here and exhale, release. Inhale, come up onto the tiptoes and shift yourself into a high plank. Tucking the elbows in, we're going to come down onto the knees and we're going to take a few chaturanga push-ups. So you can come lifted, keeping the knees high, or you can do these with the knees lowered. Elbows are going to tuck in, so we want to keep them tight in towards our body as we move through these, and really pressing into the palms so you can feel each fingerprint or finger pad pressing into the mat, and that space in between the index finger and thumb comes to meet the mat. You engage through your core, straight through the neck. So the head and neck are really protected here. We're not arching or tucking them under. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to lower halfway, bending the elbows in, keeping them tucking in towards the body, and then push up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push up. 2 more. Inhale, lower. Keep your core engaged. Exhale, push up. Inhale, lower and hold. Squeeze those elbows in. And then exhale, slowly, slowly lower, chest to the mat. Uncurl the toes. Inhale in. Lift up into a cobra. Exhale, push yourself all the way back up into a downward facing dog. Take a breath here and then exhale, melt the knees back down. Find child's pose, palms come back behind you, lengthening through the spine and maybe bringing your forehead to the earth. So child's pose is our friend in this practice. It's always our friend. Always feel that you can come down into this posture, this sense of safety and connection whenever you need it. Allowing the breath to regroup and reconnect. And closing down the eyes and tapping into that connection of sight in our third eye chakra point. And whenever you're ready, inhale in, bring the palms back in front of you, tuck the toes under, send the bottom high, downward facing dog. Navel tucks in as you press your chest towards the thighs. Inhale in, sweep the right leg up. Shift the weight forward as you bend the right knee, bringing knee in towards nose, holding in a high plank here. Squeezing the heel towards the glute and then stepping the right foot up between the palms. We're going to rise all the way up here through our high lunge. Take a breath, find that length as you tuck the ribs in. Bring the palms together and then bring them down to your third eye point. Keeping long through the spine, grounding into the hips. And then releasing the palms, bringing them onto the hips. You're going to step the left foot in slightly and send your left foot onto a 45-degree angle. Now, depending on what kind of space you've got in your hips, it will depend on how close your left foot is into the centre line. If you want a little bit more space, you open that left foot out to the outside edge of your mat, and that will just help you to keep the hip bones on a straight line. So if you haven't tried out that variation before, give it a go now. We're all different. It depends on what we've got going on in our hips. So really these standing postures welcome you to just move around, try out what works in your body, and it's not always going to look how it does in the pictures of the wonderful fitness models doing yoga. So now that we've come through that, sending the hips both towards the front of the room, we're going to interlace the hands behind the back, lift the chest, find length through the spine, send the arms back away from you, and then just start to send the gaze forward, the chest forwards, bringing the hands all the way up, finding our pyramid. So we're keeping length through the spine and dropping the head and neck so there's no tension, and grounding into both feet evenly.
closing down the eyes, feeling into this stretch. So by inverting our perception here, we're engaging our third eye to see different perspectives and just to invite a different worldview. We're quite literally turning everything on its head. And we're also sending more blood, more breath down to that third eye point. You can stay here, welcoming that nice length through the spine as your chest reaches towards your thighs. Or you can release the hands, bringing the left palm to the mat, inhaling in and sweeping the right arm up, finding a revolved pyramid, and try and keep the hips level here. Inhale in, take a breath, and then exhale, plant the right palm down, step back into your high lunge, palms stay planted, and then we'll shift our way back, lifting the right leg up, three-legged dog, and then setting the right foot back down on the mat. Restack in your down dog. Inhale in, sweeping the left leg up, find some length here, and then bending that left knee in, tuck it in towards your nose, squeeze everything in and up. And then gracing the left foot down on the mat, you'll power through the legs and lift up, find that high lunge. Keep that core engagement, sink heavy in the hips, and squeezing tops of the arms towards the ears. Bring the palms through to your third eye point. So this physical engagement of our chakra point. This helps to keep our awareness here. Ground into the legs, see if you can sink a little bit lower. Welcoming that stretch through the quads, through the hip flexors. And release the palms, step yourself up into your pyramid. Take that wider stance if you need it to straighten the hips forwards. Come to find length through the spine as you interlace the fingers in the back behind you. And then sit the head forwards, pivoting the gaze all the way down. As your chest comes towards your thigh, dropping the head heavy. And closing down the eyes here if that feels good for you. And through the palms, you'll squeeze the base of the palms together. And really lifting them up towards the ceiling, finding this nice stretch through the shoulders. Pressing, grounding into both feet evenly and keeping the hips level. Maybe you open out into your revolved triangle, planting the right palm and lifting the left palm all the way up to the ceiling. Engage your core here as you welcome that twist. And exhale, plant the left palm down, shift it back into a three-leg dog. Keep that length here. And exhale, plant the left foot down. Restack through the hips. Take a breath in. And then exhale, shift your weight forward. Come into a high plank. We're going to take those push-ups again. So lowered or lifted, turning the elbow creases to face the front of the mat. Find length through the spine. And exhale, lower halfway for one. Pushing up. Exhale, lower for two. Push up for three. For four. And five. Hold here, find that strength. And exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Inhaling, lift up through your cobra. Exhale, curl under the toes. Shift the bottom back to downward facing dog. And then bend the knees in. Find your child's pose. Arms can stay out in front if you want a little bit of a shoulder stretch here, if that was a bit much through the arms for you. And you can always bring them down at your sides if you need to. Forehead connecting to the earth. Shifting the weight forwards now as you press into the palms, curl the toes under and fly the bottom high. Find that down dog. And then slowly start to walk the feet in. Find your forward fold. Inhale in, lift up halfway. Find length, create some space. Exhale, fold. Inhale in, lift up. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale in, palms to thighs. Tuck the elbows in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, come up into standing as you join the palms together. Bring them down to your third eye point as you exhale. Feeling this physical connection at your chakra points. And focusing in or tapping into the movement of the energy in your body. And allowing it to settle here. Inhale in and bring the palms down to your heart center as you lift the gaze. So we're moving into a bit of a balancing sequence here. So find a drishti, a focal point in front of you, something that's not moving that you can keep your eye on. And then grounding down into the left foot, you'll pick the right knee up. Bring it in towards the body and see how high you can lift that knee. Engage your core here, flexing through the right foot, squeezing it a little higher. And as you exhale, start to shift the right leg back. Come into your warrior three, grounding through the left foot, finding space. Holding in your warrior three, keeping the hips stacked. And then dropping the right foot down. Come to find your high lunge. Send the arms up high again. Exhale, bring them through to your third eye. Inhale in, reach the arms back behind you, find your pyramid, step the foot out if you need to. So we're coming onto a 45-degree angle with the right leg, straightening the left leg, lifting and creating space through the spine, and then melting the chest towards the thigh. Inhale in here. Exhale, maybe you want to open out by dropping the right palm down, lifting the left arm. And planting the left palm down, step it back into that high lunge. Lifting the arms up overhead, focus in on the breath. Bring the hands back to the third eye, back to the chest, And maybe pivoting the weight forwards, coming into your warrior three, and then stepping the right foot back up to meet the left. Shuffling out through the legs, release the palms, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, create space. Exhale, fold. Inhale, create space. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, close down the eyes, bring the thumbs to the third eye point. Inhale in here, exhale, palms to heart center. Lift the gaze and find that drishti point again as you shift the weight into the right leg. You might want to take a little bit of a bend in your balancing leg. It can sometimes help you feel a bit more stable in the posture. So shifting the weight over to the right side, tucking the left knee in, squeezing it in and up as high as it can go as you flex through the left foot. And just noticing here if you feel a little bit more or less stable on this right leg. Inhaling in your own time, nice and slowly, shifting back through to a warrior three. Keeping that drishti point, and you don't need to come high in your warrior three. Really want to keep the core engaged, the hips level. So if that means that you're not lifting the leg as high, that's okay. Keep that core engagement and it will help you find a bit more steadiness. And then step back, find that high lunge. Lower down, sink into the hips as you send the palms up, squeezing the ears with the tops of the arms, sinking down into that right knee. Inhale in here, exhale, bring the thumbs to the third eye. Inhale, exhale to heart center. Release the palms, bring them back behind you as you step the left foot in. Find your setup for pyramid. Create length. Draw the palms away from the body. And then melt the chest down. Head and neck heavy. Releasing into pyramid pose. So you really want to focus on keeping the hips on a neutral stance here. So often we kind of want to open up like this. So you want your shoulders to be on a straight line, your hips to be on a straight line, and head draws towards the mat. And maybe you release the palms, bring the left palm to the outside of the right foot and open up towards the right side. Again, keeping the hips level here, so you're twisting through the center body, and maybe it feels like you're sending that right hip back a little bit. Inhale in, exhale, plant the palm, step it back into that high lunge, ground through the right foot, sweep the arms up overhead, bring the palms together, meeting through your third eye point, coming down to the chest, shifting the weight forwards, grounding into that right foot, engaging the core, and maybe stepping up through your warrior three. If you fall, if you wobble, it's okay. Just moving with our body, seeing what we can do. Coming to find Tadasana, shuffle out through the legs. Inhale in, reach up, create space, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift, and then exhale, fold. Holding here, bend the knees as much as you need to. Maybe feeling your belly meet the thighs. your head and neck nice and heavy, maybe nodding the head yes and no, yes and no. Finding that soft stillness. Inhaling, lift up halfway. And exhale, bring the palms back to the mat. Heel toe the feet as wide as the mat. We're coming down through our yogi squat here. Just giving the palms down this time. We'll sink the hips down. Open out, bring the palms together at your heart center. Find lift and length in your yogi squat. And you can stay here, feeling into this stretch in the hips, this connection of souls to the earth, that lift through the crown. Or if you'd like to, you can come into a crow practice with me. So for those that have crow in their practice, feel free to take it. Those that are new to crow, you can practice it with me now. So we're coming along through the legs again and keeping the palms down at the mat. That might mean that you need to bend your knees a little bit. Heel toe the feet in. So the balls of the feet are touching, planting the palms. And then you're going to really ground into the palms as you bend the knees and bring them to the tops of the arms. Come up onto the tiptoes and then just start to shift the weight into your tiptoes and back. So you're feeling the pressure of your legs on the backs of the arms. Just working into this balancing posture. Really grounding through the hands and still just shifting that weight front and back. And for those of you that have tried crow before or practice crow regularly, you can start to take it. For those that are quite new but are quite comfortable here, hold the weight forward, keep the gaze down, but you're not looking back behind you, you're keeping it directly down in front, and then maybe start to lift one leg and then the other off of the mat. Tuck the knees in towards the bum. Engage your core. Finding lift, finding flight. And exhaling, bringing the knees, the toes back down. Bring the knees together and find your child's pose. So whatever happened for you there in that practice, in that posture, know that it's okay. It's all part of the journey. And if that was your first time trying crow, well done. It's a challenging posture that not only subverts our worldview, but it subverts these feelings of fear. And it allows us to tap into the strength in our body and to trust that we can hold ourselves up even in unusual circumstances. So even if you fall, even when you wobble, trust that you are there. You have yourself. So maybe you want to close down the eyes in your child's pose and just repeat the mantra, I trust. I trust. I trust. And tucking the chin in towards the chest as you roll back through the spine. Shifting the weight over to one side. Sending the legs out long. Coming into our staff pose or our pike pose. And shifting the weight or shifting the flesh of the bum cheeks away from underneath you so you can really ground into the seat bones. Maybe you want to take a soft bend in the knee if you've kind of had a little bit enough of stretching through the hamstrings today. Flex the feet, bring the palms down at the sides. Just start to find some lift and length as your crown reaches towards the ceiling. Press the palms into the earth. Feel that connection from seat to crown. So we're really focusing on our third eye, our ANJA chakra today. But all of our chakras are linked. They all fuel and feed each other. And when we come into balance through all of our chakras, it's when we can start to feel this sense of stillness, of connection, and of acceptance, of peace in being. And that is samadhi. That is really what yoga is all about, is finding this peace, this samadhi. Just focusing in on your breath, tapping into even the slightest glimpse of that feeling of stillness. And drawing your attention back into the third eye, and your ability to see, to connect, to guide, and to live intuitively. Inhaling, sweep the arms up overhead. Bring the hands down to the third eye point, down to the chest, and then reach them out long in front of you. Draw the shoulders in and then send the fingertips forward, keeping the head and neck long. You'll find your forward fold. Bend your knees here if you need to. Creating space through the spine. So we're staying long here, we're staying lengthened. Keeping the eyes closed and focusing in on the breath. And you can always use a strap, or if you haven't got a strap while you're practicing at home, you can use actually a dressing gown band and bring it around the legs, and that will help you to kind of have some resistance and keep your back a little bit straighter. I know I, for one, often really round my back in this posture, and for someone that works at a desk a lot, that's a really easy way for me to come into it. So I kind of am constantly trying not to round. So keeping that length here. Just a few more breaths. And tuck your chin in towards your chest. Slowly uncurl through the spine. And then we're just going to shift, in case you've got a wall down, we're coming down onto our backs now. So we'll reach the arms all the way up overhead, bring the palms back together, squeeze the tops of the arms by the ears and start to point the toes. Tuck your tailbone under so you feel like you're curling through the ribs, and then just start to slowly lower all the way down towards your mat. Notice that point of resistance where the legs want to lift. See if you can keep them pressing down, keep that navel drawing in. Bring your gaze down towards the feet. And slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, come down onto the back. Release the arms down at the sides. Find your Sukhasana, your relaxation, your corpse pose. take what you need here. So if there are any more or any other postures calling for you, or if you want to take Savasana in a different posture, please feel free to do so. Come to close down the eyes, soften the gaze, feeling the prana, the energy of your body starting to settle. And start to notice the areas where the settling happens. Is it in your low back, your chest, shoulders, hips, tops of the feet? Taking a scan through the whole body and just feeling into those areas that need a little bit more loving today. And as you work your awareness up through the legs, through the mid-body, allow it to settle in time to that space between the eyebrows, to your ANJA chakra, your inner sight, your inner light. Maybe envisaging that triangle again, the colour purple, indigo, or maybe calling on the practices of our last few flows, seeing the imagery of your chakra as a turning, spinning wheel, this time illuminating a bright indigo light, seeing it fueled with the prana of our practice and this energy fueling within our system. Stimulating our ability to draw on the functioning of our lower chakras, drawing all of that energy up from root, through sacral, through solar, through heart, through throat, to third eye, stimulating our ability to see, to connect with our inner guidance and our inner intuition, and to trust. You can stay here for as long as you like. If you want to pause the video and grab a blanket and get yourself really cozy, focusing on that third eye point, relaxing into your Shavasana, or slowly starting to warm up through the fingertips and toes. Maybe taking a full body stretch, reawakening here. Take the movements that you need to before curling over onto one side and then pushing your way up, keeping the eyes closed, finding a comfortable seat. Restacking the spine. Inhaling, sweep the arms up overhead. Bring the palms together. Meet the thumbs at that third eye point for inner sight. Repeating, I trust, I trust, I trust. Inhale in and exhale, release. Namaste. I hope that you enjoyed this practice, and I forgot to mention throughout that flow that your third eye chakra is also really associated with dreaming and that kind of dream world. So if anyone's been experiencing some strange dreams, especially during this period, I'd be really interested in hearing about it, and also looking into your dream world and your dream life, how that works with your subconscious, and what your dreams are trying to tell you intuitively. You're starting to look into that. So as always, I'd love to hear from you, and drop me any notes, any comments down below, and I look forward to seeing you for our last session, where we'll be working on the crown chakra, but really we're going to start to look into the connection between all 7 chakras. So have a lovely week. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye bye.